it's good.
Yeah. Hello and welcome back to another episode of Articles Insights. Today we are going to discuss about articleship in transfer pricing. For that we have our speakers Shubham Jain and Satya Sankar. Hi Satya. Hi Shubham. Can you give a brief about yourself? We'll start with Shubham.
Good evening. So, I am Shubham Jain, an alumni of Ryan International School and a commerce graduate from Delhi University School of Open Learning. I qualified my chartered accountancy in July 2021. Post that, I joined Deloitte into transfer pricing department. During my articleship, it was predominantly into taxation and broadly it was into transfer pricing. Basically, last 2 years of articleship, it was into TP and post qualification, it has been completely into transfer pricing and like very thankful to ants club for providing this platform. I hope I will be able to answer all your queries and happy to take up whatever questions you have, whatever doubts you have regarding the practical aspect of transfer pricing. So yeah,
Yeah.
looking forward. Thanks.
Yeah. Satya, can you give a brief about yourself?
Sure. Firstly, I would like to thank Anclub for giving the opportunity. And I'm a Delhiite. I'm audible, right?
Yeah, you're audible.
Yeah, perfect. So I'm a Delhiite, and I have done my graduation from Jalsin College from Delhi University, and I have completed my CA in 2020, and I have started my articleship in transparency and international tax at Grant Thornton. And currently, I'm in one and a half. I'm going to complete 1.5 year of my articleship in this profile. Apart from this, I have also published international tax and transfer pricing related aspects articles in various platforms like ICA and Chambers of Tax Consultants, and also presented papers at reputed forums like Chambers of Tax Consultants and ICI student conferences.
Yeah. So let's begin the session. And the very first question is why CA? We'll start with Satya. Like, what was the reason behind the CA? Why you chose CA?
Okay.
Common interview
It's an
question.
unexpected question, but still,
Yeah.
no, I didn't expect this one. I was prepared for
Okay.
transpricing. Well, in my eighth class, I wanted to be an IPS officer. But that day, I was discussing with my brother in eighth class, and he said, like, we need to go through a lot of books and all. You need to study a lot. But at that point of time, my mind was always like money, and I was good with maths and this profit and all. So he said, why don't you try CA? And then my vision towards CA developed, and when simultaneously started knowing about it more. And in my class 10th, I have taken commerce with maths with a similar idea that I need to pursue CA. And then this intent started that, okay, CA. And then this, after entering into CA, I was inclined towards tax more while studying Inter. And then after CA Inter, Group 1, I was more inclined towards international tax till giving Group 2. I was in regular college, so I have given one group because obviously I need to wait for starting my articleship.
Right.
So in this mean period, I have developed my interest towards transfer pricing. So from CA in 8th class to transfer pricing, this was the journey.
And what was your reason, Subha? Why you did CA?
Well, Aman, to be honest, no specific reason. One thing I would, belonging to a Bania family, you expect somebody to be a CA. So yeah, I was the first one. But not really. One thing I would say is when I enrolled into CA, I got to know CA is one course where you learn about different aspects of finance. There are a lot of subjects. The course in itself is vast, huge. So that articulates it well. Like CA consists of, all the subjects which a finance professional must know. When you compare it with other courses, I think CA is a top-notch course. And another thing, it is budget friendly as well. So in comparison, so yeah, there wasn't any
Yeah, right,
specific
right.
reason, but yeah.
So let's move to our today's agenda. Like, what is transfer pricing?
Shubham, if you like to explain a transfer pricing to a student who have no idea of what it is, right?
Yeah,
Or
I
CA
don't know
intermediate
anything
student,
about it.
how will you explain?
Well, I think if we start from the basics, transfer
Right.
pricing is a mixture of audit as well as tax. As we club transfer pricing into tax, it is more of an audit of the international transaction. So I will touch upon the reason transfer pricing was brought into place afterwards. But basically, it is, when we try to scrutinize the international transactions between the related parties, it is more about, shifting of profits outside India. As we all know, India is a tax, like tax rates are very higher, and in
Yeah.
comparison to developed countries, or which we can say tax haven countries. So there are companies who tend to shift their profits outside India, whether incurring through higher purchase amounts, or maybe lesser of revenues. So these types of transactions, they are able to control through related parties only.
Right, right.
So that is transfer pricing, which tries to curb those transactions and try to maintain that arm's length range, arm's length price of those transactions, so that the profit doesn't get shifted outside India. So that is one basic thing about transfer pricing.
Would you like to add something, Satya?
Yeah, sure. Apart from this technical aspect, I would like to just give a small example. Let's assume that we have Pepsi India and Pepsi UK. Okay,
Yeah.
and Pepsi UK is giving the outside services like patent and all to its related party in India. Let's assume at a cost of 100 rupees if we take a layman's example. Okay,
Right.
but similarly, if it provides the same services to any third party, obviously it won't give it 100 rupees. It would be charging higher price.
Right.
Because if we take a layman's example, then if I would be giving something to my brother, I would give it a cheaper price compared to you.
Right, right.
Right. So let's assume that Pepsi sells the third party at 150 rupees and its related party at 100 rupees. So there is a difference of 50 rupees. So
Right,
the
right.
government would be losing revenue on this 50 rupees. So what the law says that whatever amount you want to give it to your related party, give that, but pay tax according to the third party price. So
Right.
that's what the crux of transfer pricing is all about.
Yeah. So generally the tendency used to be like हाँ generally articles in term में उतने aware नहीं होते हैं domains के बारे में, like you are like हाँ बहुत technical चीजें transfer pricing like M&A tax and all those things. So how did you choose कि why should you do transfer pricing and articleship in transfer pricing? What was the reason for that?
This question is posed to me or
Yeah, Satya, to you. Can you?
Yeah, and also like transfer
Sure.
pricing is a very specific field. Yeah, how did you make that
Right.
decision to go in this field and not in a broader field, something other?
Like I am such kind of person, like whether like in the beginning you have asked like why CA. I always believe like rather than keeping a lot of options, I streamline all those things. Like I believe if nothing can CA I can do. So I keep things in such manner. So like as I have said you that while pursuing my CA inter group 1, I have loved towards tax, and after that clearing group 1. We had a lot of ample time due to this COVID period. The exam got cancelled and postponed. So I was watching a lot of lectures and tax sutra webinar, taxman webinar, and I was able to witness many stalwarts of the profession. And the interest towards this subject of international tax developed.
Okay.
And later to it, like I have enrolled myself into a transfer pricing course. So this pricing mechanism, like how the entity set its price, like I was able to connect it more. And majorly, I have the love I have towards this international tax. Transfer pricing gives us a straight chance to deep dive into the international tax, because if you look at the direct tax, because in profiles as well, if you look at most of the teams would have direct tax and international tax club. So
Right.
you would be going majorly towards the direct tax aspects. But if you would go into the transfer pricing, then directly international tax would be you would be studying about it. Although we would be restricted to section 92 as per Indian law. That's what people think. But honestly saying, you need to have a very good knowledge of other aspects of international tax, whether DTAA, or although we don't use in while application while performing the TP work, but we should have an idea about like Article 5 of DTAA permanent establishment and Article 7 business profits and other developments like BEPS action plan, like transfer pricing documentation we have as per BEPS action plan 13 and the recent developments. So the area and the knowledge we get, and what I feel is that I'm very comfortable. And second, as I said, I streamline the process. It may be harsh to say, but audit is something which I never marks I got good marks, but I never like to do that.
Okay. And what was the reason for you, Shubham, to choose, transfer pricing as an articleship in your articleship?
And Satya, how did you know ki audit is not your cup of tea?
Well, well, the thing is, the very essence of transfer pricing, na, I feel it is very different from what regular CS does. It
Right.
is more basis economics. It is not into core finance. It is not into core mathematics. It is not into accounting as well. It is more of an economic type of thing wherein you need to gather the information about the industry. You need to set those standards, and then you need to accordingly scrutinize what you are up to. So I feel is a very different thing which you do not get into direct tax or maybe indirect tax or like you said audit. Audit, I feel it is very monotonous in the sense if you talk about big fours or maybe top six also. It is more about documentation and leaving it up to the management of the company. A lot of things goes into hands of management, and then we like shred off our responsibility from it. While transfer pricing is something you would thoroughly enjoy doing it, it is not something like you are doing repetitive things in transfer pricing. It is always a new day, it is always a new challenge, it is always a new solution which you need to find there. So that makes it a very interesting, and that is another reason CAs are trying to explore IB space, M&A space, and transfer pricing.
Right.
If you see these days, a lot of CAs are trying to get into investment banking via CA, trying to get into mergers and acquisitions, which is, like there is a startup boom in India, and
Yeah.
accordingly, the industry is changing, digitalization has developed. So, accordingly, transfer pricing has made its space.
Right.
And the very germination of transfer pricing was the basis due to like the policies which India followed in late 1990s, globalization, digitalization. These things have created a space for transfer pricing to make its name. So that is why it is different, very much exciting, and I see a very good future in transfer pricing.
Shubham, I have a question.
Yeah.
As you have done in the transfer pricing domain, your articleship also from a mid-sized firm, and also after qualification you have worked in a big four, right? So what do you think was the difference in experience at a mid-size and a big firm? And how will you recommend intermediate student whether he should do his articleship in a small size firm or mid-sized firm or a big firm, which is a better place to learn?
Well, I used to respond to your first question. There is a huge difference. Big Four is a separate, different, and like a very different exposure altogether. You cannot compare it to what you are doing in a mid-sized firm or a small firm. That exposure, I think, is unparalleled, and the kind of projects which you get to work upon is very much you learn about, and you feel you are into a very professional environment. That is one thing. If I talk about your second question, I think my experience has been into a mediocre firm, but that gives you a chance to explore your interest. If you start doing your articleship into a very specialized field like of transfer pricing, you do not get to explore. If you are into a mediocre firm, you get a chance to have a look into IDT or maybe DT audit. So you get to know, okay, yeah, this is one thing which I like to do, this is one thing which I want to keep it on the back end. So that is why I think I would prefer trying and doing articleship into a mediocre firm. Even if not whole 3 years, ICI has provided that industrial training option as well. And industrial training is happening into specialized fields these days. So that is another option which a student must explore instead of getting into hassles of asking for transfer, making silly reasons, and giving those excuses. I think should avail opportunity provided by ICI, explore well, and then choose the further field after post qualification.
Yeah. Satya, question specifically to you that you are pursuing articleship from GT, right? So, was there any specific reason for that firm, or or it just you joined it?
No, like there were a lot of reasons. Like while searching, like if you ask the question, I will tell like how the articleship is like search process have been for me.
Yeah, you can go
Like,
ahead. I'm very
I have got
excited.
opportunities for all the Yeah, huh? Yeah, come again.
Yeah, you can go ahead. Go ahead. You're audible.
Yeah, yeah. Like I have got offers from all the top five firms, and including other top 10 and top five firms I have got for similar field. Like I've only applied for transfer pricing and international tax. Rest
Hmm.
other I have not even applied. My CV was also very concentrated to this,
Okay.
and I was pretty confident with the interview. Like I've done a lot of mock interviews with the seniors who are working in this particular domain. So I was confident about it. So the reason for choosing GT is first reason is the team, like the
Okay.
interaction I had. Second major reason is out of like my joining in GT like I have got interviewed on GT in 23rd March,
Hmm.
and they have given the results on same day, and I have waited for 1 week and I've accepted. After 2 days I got offer from other big fours, 2 3 big fours continuously.
Okay.
Once I said yes, I was like, okay, think. Then I have started. Before that, also I was discussing with the seniors in the profession of transfer pricing who are well
Hmm.
known. They said one thing, like the work which you do in GT is not very much different to what happens in before. Like me and Shubham was also discussing in the evening. Like
Right.
everything is similar. Like one of the questions we posed to Shubham, like what's difference in this small firms and these big firms.
Right.
So, like in GT and other Big Four, like we have specific IKCC team or the backend team which does all the benchmarking. Because we are completely client facing and we does everything related to client work.
Hmm.
But in like why he suggested mediocre firm, the reason may be because you would be analyzing the companies and you would be going to the how exactly the benchmark process happens, how to
Right.
select comparables. So you would be going from scratch. So that might be a reason. And here, the if I am coming to my question, like why GT, I have specified two reasons. The third reason is like in Big Four, what I've heard, and this is true, like the teams are bifurcated as per these sectors. Like
Okay.
there is one team for TMT, one team for automobile, one team for this ITA sector. So on basis of industry, your teams will be bifurcated. In GT, what's the benefit is I'm going to get opportunity to explore all the sectors. Like my thought process was, okay, I am pursuing my interest. Okay, that's very niche field. And many people were saying, okay, go with direct international tax. But I was like, no, I should go with transfer pricing. So the benefit of GT is I get all the industries exposure, every client way.
Right.
And second is that in GT the benefit is I am going to work in I have worked in litigation, I have worked in
Hmm.
advisory, I have worked in compliance, and we also provide services for related party governments as per LODR regulations. So
Hmm.
on a overall level, like what we get down, what we get up, everything I'm getting. And the
Right.
clients, if you ask, the client's level is also similar. Like what 1 year it may be Shubham's client, or another year it might be mine. So it's vice versa. The level of client is nothing different. So considering all these aspects, I have joined GT.
Okay.
Shubham?
Yeah, I will get bit of time for me as well for doing extracurricular as well. So this was also a major reason. And the monotonous is bit less because when we diversify into a lot of things, we don't feel tired or get monotonous. That was also one of the reasons.
Shubham, do you agree with what Satya said, or you have any second opinion?
No, absolutely. I agree with Satya. I think like there is a better work-life balance as compared to Big Four when it comes to GT. I have also heard this thing outside that GT or maybe BDO or other top 10 firms, they have, a better flexible work-life balance than Big Fours. Considering articleship, obviously, if someone has decided that they want to deep dive into transfer pricing, no better option than Big Four, Big Five, Big Six. Because as Satya mentioned, exposure provided by these big firms is unparalleled. Because the client base which they possess, the kind of work environment they provide, and in accordance with the professionals they have, they have guidance at every level, right from the partner level till the grassroots level. Everybody works as a team. So at every level, you will have some or other insights. You will have to have that kind of experience. You will have to have share that professional knowledge. So that adds on to your, professional growth and in daily life as well. So if someone has decided, or that is the case in many cases I've seen them, when the people research well, when the articles research well, and they have that particular interest into a specific field, they should try for a bigger firm instead of a mediocre.
I have one more question from you, Shubham. मैंने बहुत सारे ऐसे सीनियर से सुना है कि if you are in taxation field, so it is difficult to go in industry as compared to if you are doing articleship and audit. Is it true? Have you experienced that?
Well, the one thing I would say is communication. Second, I would say is interview skills, and third is what exposure you can get while being into your field. Like if I talk about my transfer pricing, my experience in Deloitte into transfer pricing. Now, having said that, I am into transfer pricing department. I am working there as an assistant manager, so I am into code TP. But the advantage of being a client-facing side is you need to gather information from different perspectives, and then you need to present that to the client. So we have that communication with DT team, IDT team. In fact, we have communication with due diligence team, and even for that matter, we also consult, those consulting teams who are involved into business consulting. Because as I said, transfer pricing is not into very much litigation, stat audit, direct taxation. It is very much interrelated concept which adds on to value of management only, which adds on to value of business only. So that is why that gives an opportunity to explore different spaces. Now, how well you can articulate in the interview, how well you can communicate while changing the field, that depends on individual. So that is a myth, I would say, that once you are into transfer pricing or maybe once you are into direct taxation, then you cannot switch.
Shubham, you mentioned about the interview.
You can, if you want to switch. Yes.
Yeah, you can go ahead, completely first.
No, yes, tell me.
Okay. So you mentioned about interview, right? Let's say I have just cleared CA Inter and I want to pursue articleship in transfer pricing. Then how should I prepare for interview?
Look, I think Satya would be able to tell you better about that, because when I interviewed for articleship, I only prepared about what I studied into my CA Inter. Okay. And when I interviewed for post-qualification, I studied what I did in my CA final. Because that is the kind of articulation you want to put into, whatever field you are trying into. Maybe if you are more inclined towards transfer pricing and you want to appear for that, probably you can pull out CA final books also. Because anyway, for next 3 years down the line, you would have to study them. So if you have that particular interest, you would be able to study that, you would be able to grasp that concept, and then you can easily, appear for the interview. That's not a big deal.
Satya, same question to you. Can you elaborate that?
Sure. On the benefit of larger audience, I would like to elaborate a bit, and I will suggest what I have done. Like my articleship search for transfer pricing was started 1 year before I was actual requirement. As soon as my first group got over, as I said, for preparing we got COVID postponement of exams and all. So I have pursued courses which have given me a basic understanding what's transfer pricing.
Okay.
And I would suggest there are a lot of courses available. Please, before starting or jumping into such niche field, and rather than leaving in between, first try to understand what's it. And if it's cup of tea, then deep dive and then get it. Okay. So after pursuing courses, I have attended one leadership program where I was told that how to network and usage of LinkedIn. And I think LinkedIn is one of the boon for every one of us, to network and to get associated with good professionals, which have helped me to deep dive and get an understanding of concepts which were a bit critical to understand. And by the time I need articleship, I was having a lot of good connections of very good firms and people who are working at good levels. So this background work need to be done by you. And when it comes to only preparation, and that would be how that would be done. Okay, I will intimate that how you are able to make a good network. Reaching each and every individual would be very tough. Am I right or wrong?
Right.
So what would be easier? People would be coming to you, and when the people would come to you, when they feel that you are going to offer something, right? So how you are going to offer and why they would be connecting to you, and there is something called brand. So on LinkedIn you may create your own brand. That Aman wants to pursue his articleship in transfer pricing. So start reading or start posting something related to tax or transfer pricing, and
Right.
do a research. There is no need that every week you need to post. No, come once in a month, post something, but your post should get viral, or
Okay.
you should be like, wow, this man, when he want to join, he would definitely get into our team. You should be like that.
Okay.
Okay, so this is the way how you build your reputation, and people will definitely get connected with you. And coming into interview preparation, before after that CV,
Right.
like your CV, like the profile you are applying, your CV should be very much concentrated towards it. Like you can't send same profile to each and every department, and that's what usually happens.
Right.
You should but their vacancies are very less, brother. The
Right.
vacancies are very less. People who want to avail the opportunity are like quantum is high and the quantity is low. So you need to offer something else. So
Right.
that may be in form of certification courses, at the same time your skills and your research abilities, because that's what happens in transfer pricing. You need to read a lot. Like after coming, it's not like, or maybe like other departments. Like, okay, we have got something in inter and we are going to start. No, you need to read a lot, and obviously your reading habit will get developed. But this is the way. And other than that, interview. Like as I said, the quantum is like the number of seats are less. So get yourself interview from the people who are like who are really into this domain and who are really practicing. Like I know I have got more than 16 interviews by people who are working in this transfer pricing profile, and that have helped me to get better confident enough while even discussing with people who are hiring me. And honestly, when you have these many interviews now, it would be like a group discussion or a discussion which is happening rather than an interview.
Right.
And like touch wood, my all interviews were 100% gone with a 100% strike rate. So like give like mock test we give now, give mock interviews, which would definitely help you a lot. So you may ask like what we need to prepare. Firstly, I will say first initial round, basic section 92. That is what is TP, what is associate enterprise, and what are the methods. Why would definitely TP applicable on a company, and what is an understanding of this, what is BEPS, because the BEPS is action plan 13 we have, what is the requirement. Just understand the basics, why TP need to be done and why we have these compliances need to be performed. They would just test that. And as for me, there is nothing easier interview than transfer pricing, because the person who is hiring you, they know that you are not studied. So even if you offer something, they will take you.
Okay.
That this guy is very interested and he is very keen in learning. So rather than other profiles, like this is very easy to crack interviews. Like for cracking interview, this is very easy profile.
Right.
Satya, I have a question.
And
yes, you can continue. You can complete.
No. I was saying like at like few like as I have said, not only TP, but there will be circumstances where people may ask about taxation aspects as well at a higher round, like director level, as well like this PGBP income with to test like how your inter knowledge may be. So major cover your inter tax syllabus, and even if you were not able to answer, and if you have covered this written budget and this tax as TP aspect, they would be impressed, and there are very high chances.
Sir, what type of courses do you expect us that we should pursue, sir, and what type of skills, sir?
Courses. Okay. Like there are, hello, Ladesh.
Yeah, you are audible.
Audible, sir.
Like we have ICA courses, which is very from starting, but there are few courses like which are offered from Chambers of Tax Consultants, Bombay Chartered Association. This is from Mumbai, and these are the best. I think if one person go through these courses, he will definitely get understanding of all these aspects. Honestly saying, like after pursuing this Bombay Chartered Association course last year, there were around 32 lectures for 16 days, and they were 6 hours daily. So after going through them, when I have opened the CA Final International Taxation book, honestly saying, they have covered much more than what's required. Although we are not able to get 100%, at least 10% we are going to get. That's much more than we require, because at least we are hearing the name and we have basic understanding. And whenever we get to know about that, or we hear, hello?
Yeah, you're audible. Go ahead.
You are audible.
whenever we get like, let's assume that I was told about this, like one incident I will share. Okay.
Okay.
Yeah, I have written an article on this business profit attribution and OECD Article 10.2. So how, like in one of the sessions, the speaker was discussing about this aspect of business profit attribution and all. So I've just heard, and then I have done research, and then I've written an article and posted. So the benefit is good reach, like people of high level were appreciating me. Other than this, the understanding of this aspect.
Right.
So by pursuing these courses, you're going to develop yourself at the same time your network and everything. Like Lavish, here you need to, other than ICI, Chambers of Tax Consultant, ECAS, their International Tax Federation is there. And LinkedIn, follow LinkedIn, man. You will get a lot of courses. And Jager advisor Gaurav sir is also there, who is the chairman of ICI. He also launches one course every year. And other than this, Federation of Indian Professionals is there. They also initiate one transfer pricing course. So like courses, many people offer courses. So from every course you are able to get some other thing. So be vigilant on LinkedIn, you will definitely get noticed about it. But if you start like, if you like many people who have not even pursued courses, but if you start your articleship, then obviously the firm will tell you that please read that, and they would be clearing your doubts as well. So just like it's not a mandatory that I have done, so everyone need to do. But I had time and I had got a privilege that, so I have availed. If you and because I was having a lot of ample time in between due to this COVID period, and everyone may not have. If you get, very good. If you not, then prepare yourself a bit. After joining, you may discuss and you may grow.
Shubham, a question to yeah.
Yeah.
So, like, let's move on to other topics. That what a CA article do in transfer pricing? What kind of work actually they do?
Well, Aman, it depends on firm to firm. First thing. Second thing, it depends on individual to individual as well. There are many individuals who try to get into what they get, and there are some, who try to resist. Okay, no, that would take some time. I need to manage my studies. So it depends. But basically, when you get to start, as a fresher, as a complete fresher, even into articleship, it is more of to, first of all, they get into studying of those TP reports. The main compliance part belongs to filing of Form 3C EB and the preparation of TP report. Both of these, germinate from our Indian Income Tax Act only, and accordingly, they take it forward. So first thing is to get an understanding of not only our assessee's business, but as a group as a whole, like which group it belongs to, the headquarter company, the respective functions, assets and risk performed, hold by both of them, the group and our assessee. And accordingly, then the economic analysis part comes, which, is involved into finding of comparable companies. And as I said, the basic thing is, as Satya also told, to benchmark those transactions, to compare those transactions into uncontrolled situation, to compare those transactions with third-party transactions, so that comparability arises, that, there is no profit shifting outside India, there is no tax withholding, there is no tax shifting. You are stopping taxes to go to Indian government. So all these aspects are covered, and the basic thing is TP report, I would say.
Satya, would you like to add some points on Shubham's answer?
Yeah, sure. Like in the initial year, like what Shubham has said. In addition to that, I had opportunity to work on litigation aspects as well, to assist my seniors. Majorly in first year, what it happens is we assist, because straight away we can't do everything on our own, but we assist. But from second year onwards, we get opportunity to take from scratch to everything we are able to do ourselves, because until it's new for us. And like as you people may have heard, people doing auditing, vouching and verification, and so we also do the financial analysis after this related party disclosure in the financials. From there, a procedure starts, and then we verify that whether the related party transactions are at arm's length or not, and then we give the Form 3CB as said by Shubham. And there are advisory aspects as well. which we assist. Like I have not done completely. I have assisted my seniors in this, and litigation. I have said making CIT appeal, and I in that. And the benefit, like one more benefit I have got, that is to visit tax offices and for various matters like APA and other making submissions and representations. The benefit is we get to interact with a lot of people in the tax office as well and make good communications and network and get better understanding. Even I had an opportunity to talk with IRS once. So like this is so a lot of benefits are there. So considering what Shubham said, and we give audit opinions as well. Like before the financials are completed now, like your complete financial. If it's an audit client, like let's assume we are doing XYZ company is there, and XYZ company is the auditor of the entity of GT. So XYZ company, the GT team, that audit team would suggest us, please give us the opinion that whether the related party disclosures everything is perfect, and they would suggest the previous cases which are going on, that whether everything is perfect, or we would make any provisions as per Ind AS or AS or any contingent liabilities there. So we check all these things. So at initial phase, this phase, what it's going now, we do all these things. But once it's September, October, November, if the due date does not get extended, then it's a very hectic time for us.
Okay. Harish, do you have any question?
Yeah, Satya, as far as I was able to understand from your definition of transfer pricing, basically what we do is we analyze the related party international transactions and try to find out the arm's length price on which the transaction should have been taken off, right? And see the tax aspect of it, right?
Yeah.
Exactly. If I am correct or not correct, you can tell that.
Yes, you're correct. Other than this, like means your definition, like what you have understood is correct. We like in advisory aspect, I would like to also explain that in advisory, we suggest how like before an entity entering into a transaction, we would suggest that what should be the markup or what should be the price setting you would be like. As I have taken the example of Pepsi, I have said that Pepsi would be charging 100 rupees from this Indian entity. But in actual, before entering into transaction, they would approach us and they would ask, okay, please let us know that as per India in the Indian beverage industry, what is the markup which usually other entities charge? So we do the benchmarking, we collect the data, and we suggest the client that these are the price, this is the price particular margin you may charge from your associate enterprise, or this is the price you may set. So this is the other aspect as well.
Okay. Let's say it's a very niche, niche domain. So like if someone is looking for a career in transfer pricing, can it be rewarding in long terms?
Yeah, sure. Like I think if there is any like what I believe is that if there is any profile in this which is related to CA, where for moving out or going abroad, you don't need to pursue any other course or any certification course. By having this articleship experience and being a CA with transfer pricing, you may easily get you may easily go on a secondment to other like GT India is there. I may directly go to GT UK by taking a secondment. So very easy. It's very easily we can move. And other than this, the international tax arena is developing at a very drastic manner. Like very quickly, the new amendments are coming. Like we have heard of this Pillar 1, Pillar 2. Like if you are updated, so a lot of new technical things are coming. Like we are moving from previously physical presence to digital presence.
Right.
So and every so with the evolving concept, TP is going more critical and more opportunities as there and more rewarding as well.
Okay. Shubham, do you have any other opinion about the long-term career in TP?
Yeah, like I was listening to Satya and I also, got question like Ayush's question on whether it involves only scrutinizing of only related party schedule. I would like to say, transfer pricing compliance is not only about looking into that one schedule out of those 43 schedules that are present into financial statements. While scrutinizing, we have to look into financial statements as a whole We need to make those reconciliations whether the figure mentioned in that RPT schedule matches with those other figures, other disclosures. There are other schedules like there are expenditure in foreign currency, there are management fees paid, there are other charges paid which are clubbed into other expenses. So we need to take that out. We need to scrutinize financial statements as a whole to see if that RPT schedule in itself is correct or not. Post that our function begins. So all this is part of a compliance also. Other thing is that when you Satya was talking about long term opportunities and that he mentioned pillar 1 and pillar 2. Apart from that, I would say in case of litigation, with no all due respect to our IRS and IPS IAS officers, but transfer pricing is such concept which is not clear to a lot of IRS as well
Right.
in today's time. I have been handling litigations up till APA, ITAT levels. So I have seen this that for transfer pricing issues, they need CAs. They need, big four or big five, big six professionals to make them understand what is the whole concept, how we are trying to augur our concept to them, and how, there is a lot of to and fro into this. So that in itself expands the scope of transfer pricing in coming 10, 15, 20 years. Also, like as I mentioned earlier, the germination of transfer pricing from digitalization and globalization, it is not, coming to an end in near future. There may be a chance direct taxation, these corporate tax returns or GST returns, these may get automated in near future. That IFF scheme is coming where we need to upload invoices for GST reconciliation. So all these may get automated in coming few years. But if I talk about transfer pricing, it is still a broad concept. That is the very reason it still serves a very niche market. Also, the reason for serving a niche market is you get to, contact to foreign clients and big Fortune 500 companies. This is not a concept which, will easily apply to a Lala company or small company, those low turnover companies. So that is in itself expands the scope. Also, I was, looking into question of Harsh Gupta about people preferring auditing and accounting roles. So I would like to specifically mention about transfer pricing that transfer pricing is one field wherein you can leverage your experience into other fields as well. It is very important and it is maybe a bit scary that in early stages of our professional career we get into such a specialized field. So we may not get to come out of that, or maybe 4 years, 5 years down the line we have to start afresh if in case we change our field, we change our line. I would say that is not the case. I have seen people, changing the domains, changing the departments, taking internal transfers. And as I said earlier, also, it depends on communication. It depends on your interview skills. And as Satya mentioned, that CV is very important as well. How you mention about your experience, that it doesn't look like that you have done core transfer pricing. You need to show that yes, as a professional in a big four, big five, big six company, you have learned a lot of things. You have been involved in a lot of communications with other departments, and that itself makes you grow as an individual, as a professional. So
Right.
you can leverage your TP experience into auditing as well, accounting as well. In fact, transaction advisory and M&A tax as well. So yeah.
Shubham, you mentioned about that switching fields from TP to some another field. So let's say someone is looking for a change, and what are the other domains available for him or her
Well,
after TP?
primarily transfer pricing covers under taxation.
Okay.
Okay, so if you talk about big four, big five, or top 10 companies, so they do not generally have that resistance to transfer into a tax domain only. And if a person has worked into tax, I don't think he would try to get into audit that easily, because audit has very long hours, I would say, very poor work-life balance, and I feel very monotonous work. There is a small project, and there are a lot of people working on it. Whereas in taxation, in transfer pricing, in M&A, there are huge projects, huge revenues, and there are less of people. So that quality comes out of an individual. As for getting different domains, there are a lot of that as I said, it depends on individual to individual what his or her interests are, and how well you can leverage your experience of transfer pricing into other domain. So that can easily bring out the best of you.
Yeah. Satya, yeah, question to you that you are still pursuing articleship. So, are you able to manage your studies along with such a niche domain and a very technical thing, right?
Like yeah, I hope my team knows to see it. But yes, compared to all, I think I'm very lucky that I get ample of time for studies. And considering like what Shubham said and regarding the market and all, I would like to add on to it. And the previous question asked by Ayush,
Yeah.
like with transfer pricing, the market is not niche. The field may be niche, but market is very huge. Because if you see the M&Es, like 60 to 70% of the entities transaction are with the associate enterprises or the related parties. So what better you can have? And but with this profile, I think there is no other profile where you can we talk about pan India. I think with transfer pricing you can go pan world at a global recognition, and you can get global client without having any issue. And regarding easy to go to industry, the first question asked by Ayush, I guess. Like what I have witnessed, it's not that the number of the number of vacancies, the number of positions may be less in industry, but definitely they are very rewarding. What I have seen is that people get their hands dirty 5 to 6 years or 4 to 5 years in these big fives, and then they move to the industry as a tax head or similar position, where after 2 to 3 years later they become tax head of the respective entities. So that they may get settled or to ease off their life, to get a proper work-life balance in industry. So this is what practice what's happening. So it's not key that the number of vacancies may be high in industry, because audit persons may get like financials and all other profiles may be there. But being in tax, you will get to only taxation aspect will be there. And not only this, many of my known have also moved to investment banking and other lucrative profiles after pursuing articleship and transfer pricing. So it's not that you need to only stay in tax. And what I feel is that after 3 years, it's again a start point. Whichever profiles you want to go, you go. Just like if you have pursued articleship and transfer pricing, you would be hired as a senior in any tax profile you go. Any tax profile. But if you want to, but if you have pursued articleship in audit and then coming to this transfer pricing, M&A tax or international tax or some other lucrative profiles like this, then you would be not joining as senior. Maybe as far as my knowledge is concerned, and I think Shubham would be appropriate to answer this.
Yeah.
Because they ask for experience.
Yes.
And the pay and everything would also
coming
depend
from
on the
audit to tax.
experience.
Yeah, Shubham, go ahead.
But predominantly coming from audit to tax, I feel it is a bit tough, because audit is more of a generic thing, whereas tax is more of a technical thing. So yeah, that takes into account.
Yeah,
People who move audit to tax are high in volume rather than people moving from tax to audit. Like I have seen very rare people post qualification moving to audit of specific audit. They move from they may move to other related domains, but not to core auditing or something. That's what my experience have been. No hard feelings.
Agreed, Satya. And the reason is work-life balance.
Like
work-life balance and to an extent compensation as well.
Yeah, there's a question from Lavesh Shamtani, I think, that can you give an insight about arm's length price you mentioned most of the time in this session? If you can give an insight about it.
You are asking me or Shubham?
Yeah, Satya, you can go ahead.
Okay. See, arm's length price means, as I said, that as if I am doing a transaction with third party, that the people, like initial example I have taken, that the price, okay, let's take, the question is asked by Lavish. Yeah.
Yes, sir.
So, okay, I have Lavish, you, me, and your brother are there, okay? And you, and we both are, you are a manufacturer, okay? And I am a seller. So I am purchasing goods from you per product at 10 rupees. and your brother is also there, so, dealing with similar goods, and you are the manufacturer. So what as a brother you would do? You would say, okay, brother, I will sell you at 7 rupees. My manufacturing cost comes 5 rupees. Let me take a profit of 2 rupees and sell you at a 7 rupees, at a profit of 2 rupees. But how much money you are selling to me? You are selling me at 10 rupees. So here the differentiation amount is 3 rupees, right? So on this amount, there would be a loss to government. On 3 rupees also, you need to pay. If you would have, if I would have purchased from you, then I would be paying tax on this 3 rupees as well to the government, right? So as you have shown the transaction at 7 rupees, the government would be losing a revenue or the tax portion of the 3 rupees. So just assume the amount of transactions we have with these MNEs, huge amount, right, in crores. So arm length means as if the transaction is happening with the third party. So arm length in our case is that the price at which you and me are having transaction. Unrelated parties, there is no relation. And for related party, you can go to section 92A, associate enterprise, and then there are specific clauses under section 92 2A. So you can refer and you will definitely get a better clarity on that.
Shubham, would you like to add some point on arm's length price?
Shubham, you may add on.
Well, I agree with Satya, but Lavesh, it is a very technical term, arm's length price. When you get into transfer pricing, it is not such a huge thing. It is just that comparable price which you need to compare with those comparable transactions. So yeah, when you get into TP, you would get into more in detail about that, and it is not such a small concept that can be explained within few minutes. So yeah, try reading that, and then if you have any doubts, you can connect with us on LinkedIn as well. So that's not an issue.
Satya, a question to you, that how your days go, like a typical day in your life as a TP article.
A day in life of a C article.
Yeah. Ayush, what you were saying? Yeah, come again.
A day in a life of C article, you want to know?
Yeah. Okay. My like the benefit I have got is that we have got an option of work from home. Sometimes like when there is a requirement or when there is a discussion or when there is we need to provide deliverables, then only we go to office. Like at present, but and when the season will start from September and August, and we are going to go to office on a regular basis. So now it's like we may start office at 9 and get it over by 6, and then time is off. And there like normally we don't stay a bit long hours, but when required, we are okay with it. So we get time. So I personally get time. And season time is very tough. We need to work for around, it may go to 10, 12, 13, 14, maybe 15, 16 also. So, yeah.
So what's the season time of transfer pricing? What's the season time for transfer pricing?
Yeah, I'm telling you, from August end to September, October, November, if due date does not get extended, which is there is high possibility that it will be then December as well.
Okay.
Because last 3 years, from the day I was having interest, I was just witnessing the same thing, that it gets postponed at least by month. Last year it was around 3 to 4 months.
Okay. And Shubham, how is it for you at the light?
Well, I would say, Ayush, another benefit of transfer pricing now, it is that you have a season of only about 2 to 3 months, as Satya mentioned. And you are very much at ease for, rest of 7 to 8 months. You are more into, trying to get new clients for those compliance season. Obviously, when litigation comes, litigation is, as I said, transfer pricing is a fairly new concept. It is hardly, I think, 10 years old. So TP officers also, ask repetitive questions. So we also have those repetitive answers ready. So you do not have to, make a lot of time out for those litigation. Compliance, as I mentioned, it is more about 2 to 2.5 months season long. So you are very much at ease for the rest of the year, and you can chill out with your friends. You can go out your parties, and you can justify, yes, you are a Big Four colleague, and like everybody knows what kind of lavish life one experiences in Big Four, and it is completely unparalleled experience.
Like and one more thing I would like to add on. my experience. The people who are joining transfer pricing now, please don't get disheartened. Like that's what have happened with me in the initial year. Like we think, okay, it's very big because we need to start from A only to go for aeroplane. We need to start from A. We can't say that okay, from till Z we are going to learn on a one day and we are going to start. And don't get disheartened because with that, like okay यार क्या कर रहा हूँ मैं? No, whatever you get, do it with 100%. And like that's what initially I felt like that, which have hampered my mental health because like the quality of work was also hampered due to that. And later I realized, and after discussing that everything whatever is done given to you, do with 100% with slow and steady. When your team starts believing in you, you'll get good work, and you'll, like Shubham said, no, you will like one of the participants have also asked once have asked like it's a bit monotonous and all. So the more time you spend, you will get good work, you will get exciting assignments, you will be involved. So it's a phase. So endure that. It's a long time goal, and that's what I believe.
Okay.
Sir,
Like usually what happens, and usually what happens when what I have heard in audit is that straight away you are sent to a listed client or such things, right? So we also as an article and with full fire we have when we start our articleship, like from tomorrow onwards we are going to be like a partner who is going to stop us. But it's not the way, like the quantum of risk is very different. So we need to understand and we need to have a bit of patience. So that's what my learning have been, like to be patient and to wait for your opportunity. When opportunity comes, give your best. That's all.
So I have a question. So when you were looking for articleship, right, 1.5 years back, so what was the proper format you took to how did you decided, like basically I want to go for transfer pricing? What was the like how did you eliminated audit and other fields? Like as you said, ki audit was not cup of my tea, right? So how did you exactly do that, and how can a C intermediate student who has cleared C intermediate, who is looking for articleship, can decide better?
Okay. Okay. And Lavish, we will just come back to you. Like I have said now, like my interest towards tax developed. Literally, the interest towards international topics. Like at that point of time, this Crane and Vodafone Crane judgment was about to come, and Vodafone case judgment was also about to come, and the software payment case was also there, that whether royalty would be chargeable or not. So listening to these webinars, these experts from different domains, like from my initial stage, you know, I'm always inclined listening to these webinars. I have only followed the webinars of these tax professional, tax leads. So while seeing them, we also tend to feel that one day we are going to be like that. It's obvious, right? And what I have understood is that it's not like transfer pricing can give me a global recognition, and that would be very easy to make. And the courses, not only recognition, but what's interest. Like if you ask me, to do a research. Hello, am I audible, right?
Yeah, you're audible. Go ahead.
Yeah. If you take some time, okay, you have 2 to 3 hours free today. Okay, 1 to 3 days you have off. So are you able to do something, or are you able to do a research, or are you able to read, or you can stay a bit long, ask in the office or some other thing? I can say yes for transfer pricing, but if you ask me for audit, I will say no. Sorry. Means that's like means that's the interest now. What talks about means what we have. So it's the area of interest I have chosen, and that's how I have eliminated. Like no audit means no internal, तो बात ही नहीं है. Like stat is something, तो audit का कभी सोचा ही नहीं मैंने. Like while offering मतलब KPMG का like we get KPMG's this link to give the test at first. I think in December for this Feb batch. Yeah. So I have not even applied for that because they were only hiring for audit. And same case for all big fours. Like if I want this, I will be in this, and your preparation should be in such a manner that one opportunity, if I am going to get, I will definitely get it, no matter what. So you should be prepared. Like vacancies are less, and honestly saying, hiring at the month of for the November result is comparatively less compared to May result.
Okay. Any other question from our participants? Feel free to speak. I think that's it for today. Any last word for participants if you have?
सर एक सवाल है सर, अब बुरा मत
Yeah.
मानोगे प्लीज सर।
नहीं
आई
नहीं मानेंगे, पूरा बताइए।
नो, अभी
नहीं नहीं, बताइए
सीबीएसई
बताइए।
अभी हम, लाइक इफ आई एम सेलिंग अ गुड मीन, इधर इंडिया में वी सेल सीबीएसई एसजीएसटी। नाउ इफ आई एम सेलिंग टू फॉरेन, मतलब क्या होगा सर रेट? थोड़ा इनसाइट मिल सकता है क्या सर? लाइक सीबीएसई एसजीएसटी तो नहीं हो सकता है, तो इफ आई एम सेलिंग अ
जीएसटी बोल रहे हैं
प्रोडक्ट।
ना?
हाँ यस
Yeah,
सर,
he's talking about
प्लीज।
GST.
जी जी, मतलब
Lavesh is not able to understand the question. Yeah,
नहीं,
same.
अगर आप, मैं समझा नहीं आपकी क्वेश्चन।
Satya, in that particular product or particular thing, or particular deal, what will your tax impact in foreign markets apart from domestic market, right?
Like TPA is applicable in domestic market in only one case. Like the example of Amul and Mother Dairy I've explained, na, that's from costing point. Like TP, as per income tax, TP applicable in two cases. One for international transaction and second specified domestic transaction. And for specific domestic transaction, we need to have a limit of 20 crore rupees transaction. Okay, which comes under ATIA. You need to go through. Please go through that section where power consumption, like electricity generation, these things are there. So when you are selling to like having a, let's take an example, like Pepsi is there, Pepsi UK and Pepsi India, transaction is there. So the tax impact would be the amount, the royalty which they are providing. I would be reimbursing them. I have utilized the royalty of, I need to pay specific taxes. So that tax would be paid by this international tax department or direct tax department. That's not our concern. We just give certification that the price at which you are doing a transaction is correct, is at arm length, that as if you have done a transaction with third party. अगर मैं शुद्ध हिंदी में बताऊं तो इसका मतलब ये है कि भाई जो ट्रांजैक्शन हो रहा है वो सिमिलर है अगर किसी और थर्ड पार्टी से अगर हमारा पेरेंट एंटिटी करता तो उसी प्राइस पे होता। Okay. बाकी टीपी में हम टैक्स नहीं भरते हैं, हम बस एडजस्ट करते हैं, कंफर्मेशन देते हैं कि भाई इतना पे होना चाहिए था, इतना इसने कर दिया और इतने परसेंटेज पे तुम्हारा इसका रिवेन्यू रिपोर्ट होना था और ट्रांजैक्शन इस अमाउंट तक मार्जिन इस पे इतना रहना था, बस टैक्सेशन का हम कुछ नहीं करते। आई एम राइट और रॉन्ग शुभम? प्लीज कंफर्म वंस।
Right, Satya. Absolutely right.
Thank you sir.
Yeah. Any last word? Last word for the participant. All of them are going to pursue articleship after the results. You know, results are going to come soon, very soon, I think.
Well, one thing I would add,
Yeah.
like Satya was telling, to concentrate on one aspect, like, to develop a specific interest. But I would say, every arrow which you shoot does not get onto target in the very first attempt. So I think if you are trying and testing, that is also not an issue. Give yourself time, get into the domain. Don't, just pull out of it. Give yourself time. There are high days, there are low days in your life, in your professional life. Even if you don't feel right after giving yourself some time, like, a month or so, then it is all right to pull out yourself. It is all right to get a transfer. That does not affect your CV. That does not affect your resume. That is my personal experience. I have seen people, changing domain, developing an interest, and changing for better.
Right.
Not cursing 4 years, 5 years down the line. Shit, man, I did not get out of transfer pricing at the right time, and now I am struggling. I do not find a job other than TP, and now I am forced to do transfer pricing. That will take you nowhere. If you any point of time in life you feel okay, it is not going right, give yourself some time, not in a hasty decision. Okay, आज सीनियर से डांट खा ली, आज पार्टनर मैनेजर से नहीं बनी तो छोड़ के भाग गया, ऐसा नहीं, but give your time and then make a good decision.
Anything you want to add, Satya, for the participants?
Yeah, all the things I think I have covered. Just one good news maybe, like in one of the top 5 firms there is a vacancy for transfer pricing. A few articles.
Very nice surprise for everyone.
Right?
Yeah.
Like what better? Like it's a sweet dessert. Like
Right,
Right,
so
right,
it's a
right.
very
I
nice
can say, right?
opportunity. If anyone is
It's a
willing to
perk.
let,
It's a
You
perk
mentioned,
of join. It's a perk of joining
and the
Arts
people
Club.
who stay till the end,
Graduation.
it's a like bonus for them, right?
Yeah, it's a benefit to them.
yeah. But I think I know two people, but they are already pursuing in articleship. So others,
Oh.
please, like if you are interested, profile is good, everything is good, career opportunities are good. Like, पता नहीं, like I have started, like I have interest. I think we can make something big. इसीलिए किया है. अगर आपको इंटरेस्ट है तो प्लीज ट्राई करो. एंड यहाँ एक और चीज बेनिफिट मैं बताता हूँ. टीम्स ना बहुत छोटी होती हैं. आप एक ही टीम के साथ काम करते हो तो एंड यहाँ पे जो आप बड़े लोगों के साथ यूजुअली क्या होता है व्हाट आई हैव सीन ऑडिट में कि आपके साथ मतलब जब मेरी जीटी में मतलब अपने फर्म में भी ऑडिट वालों से बात होती है दे आर लाइक पार्टनर डर जाते हैं लाइक कभी देखा भी नहीं दे आर नॉट इवन मींस अवेयर बट हियर इट्स लाइक वी कैन हैव अ नॉर्मल डिस्कशन एज वेल मींस एट दैट मच like you are able to work with senior people than you or you may have a discussion और तो अच्छा ये फायदा भी रहता है अगर आप कंसीडर करते हो तो बाकी learning aspect is there easy to move out and lot other aspects are there I may not able to recall काफी सोच समझ के
It was
because that किसी को लगता है कि हेलो
Yeah, audible. Yeah.
मतलब अच्छा बहुत अच्छा है कर सकते हैं
I hope you
थोड़ा
like
टाइम देना
that
पड़ेगा
bonus
थोड़ा
point from
पेशेंस
Satya. Right. It was very nice.
Sir, one more last question.
Yes,
Sir,
Lavesh.
Lavesh.
if you want just
Okay.
what are the basic skills like you use in day-to-day life, sir? So it would like I would try
I
to
think
improve
Excel,
myself in that one,
right?
that one small point.
What are the basic tools you use in your daily life? Jesus.
What type of skip?
Yeah. In transfer.
Me, I think in transfer pricing, we Shubham would agree. Like for audit people, it may be Excel, but we only use Excel at season time. For us, Word document is something we use on a very regular basis. Means I think 70% of 1 year time period. If I take 70%, I use Word, 30% only Excel. Means in terms of work and all. Because only for seeing financials we use, rest all reports and other things we need to make in Word only. And see, if you really want to be in this profile, I would say start developing a habit of research aspect as well, like to read and to make